Hey everyone, it's Michael Fair from FilmFestivalCircuit.com and the director of the Texas Short Film Festival. We have Texas Short Film Festival Fall 2022 coming up at the Slab Cinema Art House at Blue Star. We are excited to be back for our third time this year with a brand new slate of films, and we're going to screen everything from comedy to animated films to documentaries to horror films to drama, you name it. We're going to be doing it, and we have a film that has been nominated for the Best Dark Drama Film Award, and it's called Perfectly Disturbed. And we've got the time of Pamela Matew today, a San Antonio native who is going to be returning home, hopefully, or at least have her family there for this screening. And we are very excited to have you. Hi, Pamela.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for having me.
Thank you for taking the time. I'm doing great. Just looking forward to the festival. It's just in a couple of short weeks, and we really fill it up, man. It's festival's gotten so popular so fast, and we're going to be screening films all day. And we just your film makes the judges look good, and we're just happy to be able to screen it.
Yes, I'm so excited. I will definitely be in San Antonio soon, and my whole family is coming. So we're gonna pack the house as much as we can.
I love it. I love it. I appreciate that. Well, I have a bad habit of ruining the end of a film, so I'm just gonna go ahead and let you give us the synopsis before the director, ruins it all. Go for it.
Well, first I'll say Perfectly Disturbed is a psychological thriller. So I most certainly cannot give away the ending. You'll have to watch to find out. But here is the log line. When a prim and proper Latina, hell-bent on being the perfect wife, believes her husband is a serial killer, she must decide whether she can come to terms with and embrace his sinister hobby. So we have our main character, Sophia, and her husband, David. David works at a university as a Spanish lit professor. And within the university, there are women that are getting murdered and they're finding the bodies in like dumpsters and stuff. So our main character, Sophia, is seeing this on the news and she's like questioning and asking her husband things, and they haven't found the guy yet. And then a detective shows up to their house and starts asking mysterious questions. And so it starts to get her wondering and starting to connect the dots that maybe her husband is the killer. And so the rest of the movie unravels everything that she discovers, and we come to a big old twist at the end. So you'll have to watch it to check out what that is, but I'm so excited to share this.
All right. Yeah, you built it up well there. Thank you. So from a creative perspective, why did you want to create this film?
So this film has a really interesting story. At the beginning of 2021, Clubhouse was all the rage in that app, for anyone that was in the app. And Gloria Calderon, who did One Day at a Time, she's the showrunner, was on the app and she was answering questions. And I had gone up and I was like, well, I'm a director and I want to create a show. And she was like, well, are you a writer? And I was like, well, I will write if I have to, but I'm mainly a director. And she was like, go find writers. So then somebody messaged me. Her name is Desiree. And she was like, hey, I'm in a writer's group. And in this writer's group, we do challenges, like 10-day writing challenges. The guy that hosts and runs the challenge, he's let directors come in before and kind of give the parameters of what they want to shoot. And then all these writers will write scripts and they pick the best script. And I was like, that's amazing. So I actually ended up doing a challenge. I ended up doing 3. And so there were 3 10-day writing challenges with all these screenwriters. I set the parameter. I said I want it to be a psychological thriller, 2 characters, and it's going to have these kind of elements to it. And so Perfectly Disturbed came from one of the writers who was actually a Texas native. She's from Houston. It was in the middle. She was writing the script in the middle of the freeze that happened during where the Texas grid just completely like went berserk. So she was in her home in the cold writing this damn script, which turned out to be my favorite. And I picked it and it won. And then we produced Perfectly Disturbed. And so that's how this whole thing came about. And then I'm a Latina, I'm Colombian, and I wanted to make sure I put Latinos on camera. So we have a Colombian, a Puerto Rican, and a Cuban in Perfectly Disturbed. And it was a female forward crew. So we had basically all women behind the camera, except for my DP, who's a very long time dear friend of mine. and we shot the hell out of this thing. So that's how this whole thing came about.
Wow, very good job on that. And yeah, good job putting together a crew from
Thank
just
you.
all that representation. Everybody can claim
Yes.
this one. You just need to run flags at the end of the
Yeah,
of
seriously.
the
Yes, exactly.
Well, from a technical perspective, I mean, every film is obviously an undertaking. Every film is a little bit of film school. What did you learn during this production?
Oh boy. So I hadn't shot a short film. This was my 10th short film. But I hadn't shot a short film in 6 years prior to Perfectly Disturbed. I had taken a bit of a hiatus. And so for me, this was a little bit of just dusting off the cobwebs, but it was such an instant reminder of how much you need to be prepared. And I'm sorry. Hey, I have a very crazy dog, so forgive me.
No worries.
So a lot of this was kind of just getting back on the getting back in the saddle, and a few things that I picked up and were also just kind of reminders was location is really important. And I almost went on a location that wasn't going to work as well as the one we actually chose because it was cheaper and it was going to help us save money. And my DP was like, do it right the first time. Spend a little bit of extra, spend a little bit more money. And I really didn't even need a production designer because the house that we were able to rent was just this beautiful location that was already designed and set up exactly the way I wanted. So we changed and tweaked a few things. We changed and tweaked a few things. Sorry.
No worries.
I'm like, edit that out. So we changed and tweaked a few things on set, and like that was it. Like the rest of it was really easy in that sense. The other really big thing that I learned was my previous short films were either 10 pages or less, and we were able to bang those out in 2 days. I tried to bang this one out in 2 days, but it was a 15-page script. And I was like, we'll get it done. But we just weren't in the groove of moving quickly. We had a really slow start on our first day. And we actually ended the 2-day shoot. It went from like day to night. We stopped at 5 o'clock in the morning when the sun was starting to come up. And I still had about 3.5 pages that we hadn't shot. And I was devastated. We tapped out all of our money. We had nothing left. And I didn't have a complete film. And my actors were like, we're done. We can't keep going. We had already passed out hour 12. And I left that shoot feeling so defeated. And I was like, I don't have a movie. I don't have any more money. I have no idea how I'm going to even get this done. It felt like such an undertaking. And I was in such a negative emotional headspace for like the whole week after we shot. And I just didn't know what to do from there. And so I gave myself a week. I had a long talk with my producers, with my DP, and everybody was trying to, stay positive and like, hey, we're just got to do a pickup shoot. It's totally okay. Like productions do pickup shoots all the time. And I was like, yeah, when they have money. I was like, we don't have any. So within a month, my producers and we rallied and we were like, okay, we shot some really, really good, beautiful stuff. We have a great story. Like, we have to finish this. And so I had a talk with my actors. Everybody was on board to complete this. So we found a pickup shoot date. And then we did a little crowdfunding to just raise like another $4,000. And we maybe got to 2,000 like the night before we were supposed to shoot. And so that night I messaged probably 100 people in a matter of a couple hours and got that all the way up to the $4,000 mark. And we woke up the next morning and like had the money to go. So it was such a roller coaster to get this thing done. And then I edited everything and it was just like a slow moving train. So all to say, so many lessons learned, but planning was probably the biggest one of like, I need to make sure I understand that I need time to bring my vision to life and to also give us a little bit of cushion to allow the creativity and to just have the funding and everything done ahead of time, because this was it was so high stress, like unnecessarily. So So lots of lessons learned, but it was a wonderful, fantastic learning experience. And the movie's done, and we're going to screen it at our first in-person festival in a couple of weeks. And I'm just like really, really excited for it.
Wow, what a comeback story. What a beautiful
Yeah.
blessing. That's really good. Well, congrats to you and your crew for making for persevering and bringing
Thank
us this,
you.
because we are excited to screen it, very excited to screen it. And
Thank you. I'm super excited.
you're very welcome. What is next for you? It's, just anything you're working on in general in the industry. What's next?
Yeah. So going back to that writing challenge, I ended up doing 3 of them. So I got 3 scripts from 3 different challenges that I set the parameters to. So there were 2 psychological thrillers and a dramedy. So Perfectly Disturbed was the first of the 3. And so we just finished crowdfunding successfully this time, $12,000 to shoot our next one called The Tenant, which is another psychological thriller. And I'm actually shooting that a couple weeks after the screening. So we are knee deep in pre-production right now for The Tenant, another short film. And then in the spring, we're going to be shooting the 3rd one called Big Hoop Energy. These are all starring Latinos. They're all going to be a female-forward crew. And they're all shooting here in Los Angeles.
Wow, good for you. Well, we're excited.
Thank you.
We're excited. You got such a great career ahead. So I'm looking forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks. And we're looking forward to meeting the family and seeing the whole crew behind this.
You're going to see the crazy Colombians there. So.
All right. Sounds good. Is there anything else you want to add before we go?
Just that this feels really full circle for me because I'm from San Antonio. I grew up in San Antonio. My whole family, well, my immediate family is still here in San Antonio. And it's just really exciting that after living in LA for so many years, I've been in LA for 17 years now, that I get to screen Perfectly Disturbed in San Antonio where my family can see it and kind of see the culmination of all the work that I've been doing over the years. So it's really exciting. This is a very wholesome screening and feeling for me. It's much deeper than just screening a film for me. It's like the fact that my family gets to be by my side is really exciting.
Oh, wow. All right. Good stuff. Well, I appreciate your time, and we'll see you soon, okay?
Yes, likewise. Thank you so much. And thank you to all the judges. I really appreciate it.
No worries. Bye.